beautiful, welcome back. So if you're new here, my name is Mide. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the different ways that you can start MICROLOCS. If you're thinking of locks and you don't know how to go about it, this is one of the ways that you can start your locks, MICROLOCS. What is MICROLOCS? MICROLOCS is what I'm carrying on my head. Okay, MICROLOCS are tiny strands of locks on your head, and the sizes ranges between 7mm to like 4.5mm. And if you don't understand what that means exactly, 7mm can be compared to the size of a pencil, while the 4.5mm can be compared to the size of a thread. Okay, as tiny as that. All right, it is possible. When it comes to the number of locks that is considered to be MICROLOCS, it starts from 150 strands of locks to like 1,000 strands of locks. Yes, it is quite possible. In fact, I'm going to put the link of the person that I have seen 1,000+ strands of hair on her head. Unfortunately, she had taken it down. Yes, you can loosen your locks. There are 5 ways that you can start MICROLOCS, okay? And the first one is comb coils. Yeah, you can start your MICROLOCS with comb coils. Comb coils is the use of comb to coil your locks. They are roughly about the size of a pencil most of the time, and it is good to know that even comb coils can be used on any type of hair, any texture of hair. It is best on short hair. Of course, it can be done with long hair, but on long strands of coils, it takes a longer time for the hair to lock up, just because the locking process starts from like the middle or the tip of your hair to the roots of the hair. Like, this is what I meant. When you coil your hair, the locking process starts generally for every type of hair. The locking process starts from like here or here downward, okay? And then obviously the longer the strand of your lock, the longer it will take for that hair to lock up, okay? One of the downsides of comb coil is that when you install it initially, you will be asked to stay for a couple of weeks before you can wash your locks. You must have been hearing some people complaining that, oh, they don't wash their hair, or they'll be told not to wash their hair. It is not so. You wash your locks, like you wash your locks as much as you want, as long as frequent as you want. It's just that the initial installation, especially for coils, require that you avoid contact with water. If you wash it too early, your coils are likely to unravel. That is why you'll be told not to wash your locks for a couple of weeks, okay? And actually, it depends on your lifestyle, and if you happen to be the type of person that cannot do without pouring water on your scalp, there are ways that you can actually wash your hair within 1 to 2 weeks if you cannot like stay longer. And then one of the ways that you can clean your hair, your scalp before the wash day is by the use of dry shampoo, like a form of dry cleaning. The use of cotton wool or another fine textured clothing material with the application of shampoo, oil, or whatsoever that it is required for you to clean your scalp before the wash day. But that is just one of the things that comes along with comb coils, okay? And if you have fine textured hair, sparse kind of hair, of course it is possible also. You can use comb coils to start your MICROLOCS. It's just that with that type of hair, it's going to show a lot of scalp, and if you don't like that, you might want to consider the other type. Another way that you can start MICROLOCS is with braid locks, okay? The typical plaiting of your hair, cutting your strands of hair into 3 and then braiding it all the way down. The downsides to braid lock, which some people do not like, is that number 1, braid method does not swell as time goes on compared to the other type of way that you can start your micro locks. One of the beautiful things about braid locks is that it does not shrink that much. So if you're going to be starting your locks with long strands of hair, the rate at which it shrinks is minimal compared to the other type. Okay, in fact, I wish I made my research fully, but I was too impatient to start the locks, so I didn't get to know a whole lot of things, or else I would have started my locks with braid locks, because I would have wanted to like retain the length of the hair I started with. Okay, one thing again about braid lock is that if you are the type that does not like your scalp to show, you also might not want to consider braid locks, because it doesn't swell that much, and if your hair is thin and is sparse, then it's going to remain like that for quite a while. One way that you can start micro locks is with 2 strands twist micro locks. Starting your micro locks with 2 strands twist seems to be like the easiest and the most popular method of starting your micro locks, especially if you're going to be doing it yourself, because it is very convenient to do. Okay, like just the 2 strands of your locks of your hair, and then you are twisting it all the way down. The only thing that makes it to be different from the typical 2 strand twist is that either you start the root of the hair with braids 2 to 3 steps, or you interlock the root of the hair. Aside from that, locks is like the fastest way, easiest way, the most convenient way that you can start micro locks. Okay, that is what I started with actually. So like I said, it's very easy if you're going to be doing it yourself. What makes a lot of people to like opt for 2 strands twist is because of the way it swells after sometimes. If you started your locks with like a limp looking, fine texture, small or heat damage or pen damage kind of hair, if you start your micro locks with 2 strands twist, after some time it is going to appear fuller, and as time goes on, when the frizz settling, it appears more than you started with. And it's one thing that most people like when it comes to 2 strand twist. One of the disadvantages of 2 strand twist is that it shrinks a lot. It shrinks like 70% of its original size of hair that you started with. Like this is the length I started with, and after some time it became like this. Your hair is going to shrink after some time before you start to notice the length retention after your hair must have started growing out. So that is just the thing about 2 strands twist. Aside from that, a lot of people prefer 2 strands twist because it is easy. Okay, another method that you can start your micro locks with is with interlocking techniques. Interlocking technique seems to be very intricate and a bit tasky to do, especially if you're going to be doing it on your head by yourself. Okay, so you don't see a lot of people using interlocking techniques to start their locks, except if you're going to be doing sister locks instead of micro locks. Okay, and sister locks is usually done by a professional, a loctician that is specialized in sister locks. Sister locks is a type of lock that is branded, so you don't get to pop into any kind of salon or go to any loctician to get it installed for you. You have to meet the specialist in that area. So sister lock is usually started with interlocking techniques, and they are very tiny. Minimum number of strands that you can get with sister locks is 300 strands of locks, and that is usually on a child's head, except of course if you have very sparse, fine texture kind of hair, and then the size of your head is small. That is the only way that you're going to get as small as that. It's usually as high as 500, 800, 1000, 1000 plus. Depends. Okay, and the interlocking techniques is usually the method that is used in your subsequent retire of your locks when it comes to micro locks. Okay, except you started your locks with comb coils, that usually continues with comb coils. Like my sister started with comb coils, and that's what she still uses up to this moment. Okay, so the fifth way that you can start micro locks is with the use of extension. There's a popular micro locks that is known as bell micro locks. Bell micro locks usually use extension to start your lock, especially if your hair is very short, like 4 cm to like 4 centimeters to like 5 centimeter, or maybe you just wanted to start with long strands of lock. Then bell micro locks usually use extension to start the lock. Okay, and then it could be done with the braid lock, it could be done with the twist lock, okay, with the extension. So there have been so many people going for that option. Okay, it's another option that I felt, wow, maybe I should have. All right, but well, maybe not. Okay, so that is that, you guys. Thank you for tuning in once again. I appreciate you. Don't forget to like, subscribe to my channel. Stay blessed, stay beautiful, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.